Well, thank you again for watching News Dive with me. As always, there's going to be a warning here. There's going to be some vulgar language, perhaps. This program is brought to you by Resigned Motherfucker. I hope you get a sense of where we're headed with this program. It's kind of pivotal. Um, the reason we're doing this is to make sure people understand that we can only take so much. Okay? Okay, as you very well know, the House leaders have brought the articles to the Senate. This is now confirmed. Nadler explains that the Senate's recent behavior could constitute part of the cover up when they don't want witnesses to attend and testify. They are engaging in a cover up, and that's very true. Um, Pelosi's impeachment manager is calling for McConnell's recusal from the Trump Senate trial. The senators have been sworn in. We wonder if they have really taken their oath seriously. Can the Senate really choose to ignore it? The big question is, what about all this new evidence emerging of clear wrongdoing? The interviews of Lev Parnas with Rachel Maddow bring additional incriminating evidence. And we have protesters at the Senate remove Trump. We don't know if these people have been arraigned or arrested. Now, the interesting thing about this drama, this kabuki theater, is that there weren't 51 votes to dismiss the articles of impeachment in the Senate. In other words, the Senate is saying we're opening up our doors to the articles of impeachment. They could have very well blocked that, but they didn't. They are vowing for impartial justice. Some people are saying, how many U.S. senators just perjured themselves when they took this oath? There's a lot of talk about senators being complicit, but we shall see what we shall see. My theory is kind of bizarre. I suspect that a lot of these senators loathe Donald Trump. They loathe him because not only of his personality, but also because he has compromised them and has leveraged them. And so maybe this will be the final um, demise of Trump, where they take the revenge on him after the vote. We have officially descended into despotism led by a deranged puppet covered by a complicit party of traitors. That's what it looks like to the world. Video audio evidence will be allowed in the Senate trial. That is good to know. The impeachment case is weak. We haven't even heard from any direct witnesses. That's what the Republicans say. The Democrats say, so let's hear from direct witnesses. The Republicans say no. Again, they keep reiterating the same mantra. The impeachment case is weak. We haven't even heard from any direct witnesses. Well, bring them on. Why don't you bring them on? Because Trump says no. That's why. It was a perfect phone call, but no, you can't see the full transcript, and no, you can't talk to anyone who was in the room when it happened, and no, you can't see the documents about the call either, but it was a perfect. Shut up. It was perfect. Right. Okay. American voters want to see witnesses at Trump impeachment trial by a margin of 57 to 24%. GOP Republican senators are obstructing. Why in God's name are they swearing in Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham today? They have both said they will not be impartial jurors. This is a mockery of justice and makes the United States look more and more like a banana republic every day. And then this, we have Rand Paul. Rand Paul threatens to go Rambo on rogue Republicans if they bring on impeachment witnesses. How does that possibly? aligned with Rand Paul's and Ron Paul's libertarian views. What are they thinking, or have they been leveraged? Rand Paul threatens to go Rambo on Republicans who allow impeachment witness. Now, what does go Rambo on them mean? Here's the war cry: any non-criminal for 2020. Okay, we're sick and tired of the criminality, and I'm going to talk a little bit more here about the criminality. Okay, folks, this is somebody's projecting on the Trump International Hotel. Pay Trump bribes here. Of course, that's where we're at. Historian says Trump's like an outlaw, like an Al Capone, Billy the Kid. That's exactly it. Now the GOP said Trump committed no crime, but the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, now rules that he broke the law. And here's a typical facial expression of Trump as he's trying to sarcastically say the words, thank you. Here's just a few foreign governments that have spent money at Trump properties since he took office. Okay? I'll let you read them. Devin Nunes said he'd sue fellow Congressman Ted Lieu after allegation that Nunes conspired with Parnas. When somebody brought up the subject of calling in Biden Hunter to the impeachment trial, Nadler said rightly he knows nothing about Trump's misconduct. Why would you want Biden in there? A mob hit. This is what it really boils down to with Marie Yovanovitch. The new evidence suggests disturbing scheme by Trump's Ukraine goons to take down Marie Yovanovitch. Okay? That's what they were aiming for. That's the kind of animal we have in the White House. Pelosi says, does anyone think that the rogue attorney general is going to appoint a special prosecutor? No, because he's implicated in all of this. But GOP senators dismiss accountability group's report saying Trump administration broke the law. Well, they're dismissing it to cover their asses, I think, because they know full well that if they go up against Trump at this juncture, there may be some fallout. Okay, now we have reports. Second son Eric Trump is accused of stealing from a cancer charity and dodging taxes. Look at these grifters. Collins claims she had never taken money from the Sackler family, which owns the company that produces OxyContin, but campaign finance records show that she did, and now we hear that she may allow for witnesses in the impeachment trial. So it's 50-50 with her. Again, Ukraine now is going to investigate reports of surveillance of Marie Yovanovitch when they can't even get their own act straight with their own attorney generals. What a joke. At what point is someone guilty of a crime so obvious and evidential that as a public official you're an accomplice to the crime by blatantly lying and going out of your way to mislead the public en masse? Seriously. That's what I say. At what point you Americans who are listening to all this don't wake up and say enough is enough, Trump is a criminal? Trump needs to be asked about the letter that Rudy Giuliani sent Zelensky on May 10, 2019. It's essentially a smoking gun, showing that Rudy's attempt to force Ukraine to investigate Biden was a private, not an official, act taken on behalf of Trump's personal interests. Okay? Things are seriously fucked up when Ukraine opens a criminal investigation into the Yovanovitch scandal, but our head of state, Pompeo, hasn't uttered a peep, and the U.S. president keeps calling it a hoax. Pompeo is under a lot of pressure, and now we have an allegation that Trump verbally and emotionally abused former Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. The criminality just runs very deep with this president. There are way too many reasons to loathe Donald Trump, but the biggest has to be that in 2020 America, the president's opponents actually fear being killed. Opponents fear being killed. Neil Katyal says there's just no sense of sorrow for putting the country through this. None at all. It's just all about him, about Trump. And for what? There were 50 legitimate ways to fight Ukraine corruption that would have never triggered such a heart-wrenching moment. Yet there is zero self-reflection. Okay, somebody is saying here, so I guess this is why there's no chance of seeing a fair impeachment trial. All the biggest loudmouth Republicans would be getting indicted themselves. It's pretty clear who the guilty ones are. We've become a banana republic. The Trump Hotel, it's in the news. It was like a breeding ground at the Trump Hotel. Parnas explaining how guys like him would rub elbows with GOP congressmen and people like Robert Hyde. Trump Hotel sounds like a petri dish filled with bacteria. The U.S. government has been turned into a shit show at the Trump Hotel. That's the word. The Trump Hotel is like a bar scene in Star Wars. Mobsters everywhere. And now we have this little aside here. Putin and Assad have joked at the site of St. Paul's conversion, saying that Trump might become a good person if he would only visit it. And if you really want to know a little bit more about Trump, just go to tinyurl.com/Same Dawn, and you'll get the lowdown on Trump's criminality, his history with criminals, with Roy Cohn, etc., 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 the Russian mafia. It's all there. All right, let's talk a little bit about Parnas, Lev Parnas. Trump's claim has been all along, I don't know who that man is. He denies knowing Lev Parnas. And we have numerous photographs of Lev Parnas with Donald Trump on numerous occasions. This is not somebody he has never met. Here are some pictures of Lev Parnas. These are not photo ops. These are synergistic pictures, like they have known each other. And Lev Parnas, by the way, was born in the Ukraine but moved to the United States as a child and grew up in Brooklyn. He got his start in real estate selling Trump condos for Donald Trump's father, Fred. So he's been part of the family all these years. We have pictures of him, even with Ivana Trump. And Parnas' son contributed to Trump's campaign, election campaign, 2016. He worked for Trump. We have picture after picture after picture of Trump with Parnas, of Parnas with Giuliani, and Parnas was told by an ex-Trump attorney who visited him in jail, he was told to sacrifice himself for the president. Just think about that. Sacrifice himself. In other words, ruin his life just for this douchebag, this motherfucker, okay? Who thinks he can get away with anything because he likes power. It's all about him. Again, this is the recurring theme on Parnas. I don't know him at all, don't know what he's about, don't know where he comes from, know nothing about him. I can only tell you this thing is a big hoax. Before he adds, he's probably trying to make a deal for himself. Oh yeah, right. More pictures. More pictures. There you go, Trump. You think you can bullshit your way out of everything, huh? There's even a video now of Trump with Parnas. I'm going to show it to you right now. That was released by Parnas' lawyer. There you go, all smiles with Junior, with Eric. This guy was part of the family all these years, okay? And the interview, Parnas says President Trump knew exactly what he was doing. He was aware of all my movements. This guy was a tool for Trump under the direction of Rudy Giuliani. He was trying to be the go-between in the Ukraine between Zelensky and Trump. Then we also have now David Nunes, who suddenly remembers Lev Parnas. His memory is being jarred. Parnas told Rachel Maddow Rudy Giuliani vouched for him on calls with Ukrainian officials, confirming to the officials that Parnas was working for Trump. Parnas says President Trump knew exactly what he was doing. He was aware of all my movements. I would do nothing without the consent of Rudy Giuliani or the president. And he says that the whole Ukrainian operation was all about Joe Biden, never about the corruption. It was all about getting a sting of Joe Biden so that Trump could win the election. That's what this is all about, folks. And he's implicating Pence and Barr and probably others too. Uh, Again, Devin Nunes pretending that he never knew Parnas and he was in the loop all the time. Assertions that Trump never knew Parnas are falling apart. The truth coming out that Parnas' son worked on the Trump campaign. But here's the context that everyone is ignoring. The DOJ has had Parnas' phone and all these damning tests for 3 months, but we learn of them only because a court order allowed Parnas to give them to the House a few days ago. Seems like Barr is covering up these crimes, and he's implicated. So Barr, again, is Trump's fixer. Plain as daylight. Somebody said Lev Parnas is a scumbag, but he has the receipts. At this point, if you truly believe Trump did nothing wrong, you are truly a dumb fuck. I concur. Parnas on Trump's Ukraine robbery, that was the most important thing. For him to stay on for 4 years. That's what he wanted. Lev Parnas tells Maddow that Trump isn't like a mobster, but more like a cult leader. Being around President Trump was a cultish environment. He says Trump is empowered by Bill Barr. Parnas explains he and his family are worried about his safety, but he wants his truth out. I would be very worried if I was Parnas. Knowing Trump, of course I'd be worried. Look what happened to Epstein. He says to Maddow, if you look at Trump in 2017, he wasn't that powerful. He got more powerful when he got Barr. I'm more afraid of Barr than these criminals. They can lock you in a room and treat you like some animal. Okay, that's where we're at, folks. Now, Bill Barr is urged to retain a criminal defense attorney after Lev Parnas bombshells. And that was our news dive for today. If you enjoy this program and feel like contributing, please go to tinyurl.com/getavan for a donation. Thank you very much.